What if I told you the best way to keep mosquitoes away wasn't bug spray, but skunk oil? Or the trees in the forest where we're standing in don't grow straight. As the legend goes, they were caught in mid-dance by the sound of a little girl's flute. Welcome to Obadjiwan, Fort Témiscamingue, situated in the stunning Abitibi-Témiscamingue region of Quebec. In this episode, we're stepping into the grueling life of the Voyageurs, and we'll find out why I'm too tall to be one. Thank goodness for that, because my hands and my back are way too delicate for that kind of work. Trust me. We'll also join a masterclass in forest chemistry and respect with Karl, an Anishinaabe traditional craftsman and member of the Témiscamingue First Nation community. And we'll finally uncover the mystery of that enchanted forest. On paper, it's a fur trading post, but if you dig a little deeper, you'll find 6,000 years of Indigenous history, a broken promise, and a philosophy that might just save our modern minds.
You're listening to the Rudderless Travel Podcast, a podcast about purposeful travel, sharing inspirational stories, and unlocking a destination's secrets.
Hey, my name is Christopher Rudder, an award-winning travel content creator and expert with Rudderless Media. I'm back in Quebec, and honestly, I joke a lot about this on social media, but I'm so in love with this place. I feel like my province, Ontario, is getting jealous. It sort of feels like I'm having this hot and heavy affair with La Belle Province. I know it's wrong, but I just can't stop. All that to say, Abitibi-Témiscamingue is the first stop on a Quebec road trip out east to the Maritimes. We've been based in Ville-Marie, a town that feels like a fairy tale when the sun starts setting over the marina. It's quite stunning. It's the kind of place where every stranger greets you with a cheerful bonjour and a smile that makes you feel like you finally come home. But behind the cozy beaches and the local breakfasts at La Golferière, there's a deeper, darker story. We're standing at Obadjiwan, the narrowest point of Lake Témiscamingue. Ontario is literally right there, just a few hundred meters across the water, keeping an eye on us. In fact, Émile told me a story about a guy who lived on the Ontario side but worked here in Quebec. She'd just hop in her canoe and paddle across to start her shift. Ironic? Maybe, because for nearly 2 centuries, this was the site of a fierce rivalry between the Northwest Company and the Hudson's Bay Company. The HBC traded under the motto Pro Pelle Cutem, meaning a skin for a skin. But much of that story is now underwater. When the Long Sault Dam was built downstream to regulate the flow of the Ottawa River for the timber industry, a massive industry we'll be diving into in a future episode we're calling the Log Driver's Waltz. But the water here rose by 15 feet. That flood submerged the original shoreline and the foundations that had seen 6,000 years of Anishinaabe life. Today, what remains is a unique partnership between Parks Canada and the Miscamingue First Nation. We spent the morning with Émile from Parks Canada and learned from Karl, an Anishinaabe traditional craftsman and a member of the Témiscamingue First Nation community. We started our tour looking out at Lake Témiscamingue. In Anishinaabe language, it means deep waters, and it's huge. At its deepest, it drops down 260 meters and stretches 100 kilometers long. Back then, this lake was like a highway, and the only way to reach this outpost from Montreal. It was a grueling 25-day trip with crews paddling for 16 hours a day. Next, we walked towards a display with 2 canoes. One looked like the typical size canoe, but the other was massive. Émile calls this storage building the car wash.
So right there, we have the place that we stock the canoe during the winters. So I like to compare that to a car wash. You have two big doors on each side, and you just put the canoe inside and stock it during the winters. Do you know what people can fit inside?
I'm gonna say about 20 to 25.
Less than that. We have
Okay. I was trying to do like 2, 4, 6.
we have all these stock to carry, like the blanket and everything. So all the stock that we're gonna bring in.
Oh, so it's not just the people,
No.
it's the supplies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
supplies
okay,
and
okay. Yeah.
We talk about 12 people.
12 people,
Yeah.
okay.
This is definitely no
Okay,
casual
yeah.
weekend canoe. This is the Metra canoe, the Montreal canoe. It's 40 feet long and weighs a crazy 1,000 pounds. But the real shocker is how much cargo it can handle.
The funny part, they only take 4 people carry it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because probably light, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But 1,000 pounds, and you can fit inside 3 to 4,000 pounds of all this stuff, like I told you, like blankets, accent, and everything.
Now, for those of you listening and not watching on YouTube, imagine these mannequins at the shore, frozen in time. They're wearing heavy woolens and the iconic arrow sash, a thick, colorful woven belt wrapped tight around the waist to provide abdominal support and protect their backs from all that physical labor. One man is bent over a canoe, his hands gripped around a massive rectangular cargo bundle wrapped in dark fabric and tied tight with a thick rope. Another stands nearby in a cream-colored coat, reaching out to help balance the load, which, quite frankly, looks like it weighs more than him. In the background, the Lake Témiscamingue Narrows stretch out, blue and deceptively calm. I mean, it looks peaceful now, but for these men, this was a place of relentless, back-breaking work. Also here on the shore, near the canoes, is a sign explaining the HBC motto, Pro Pelle Cutem. Literal translation, a skin for a skin. But for the men on the ground, it was a dark double entendre. They were here to trade animal skins for profit, but they often paid for it with their own skins, sacrificing their health and their youth to the brutal north.
Engaged farmers.
Okay.
Yeah. They're really strong. And I'm too tall, and you're too tall to be a Voyageur because you want to be like really short to take less place inside the canoe.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank goodness for our height then.
Yeah.
So we don't need to do any work.
Exactly.
Imagine paddling this beast for 16 hours a day while carrying 2 to 3 90-pound bundles on your back during portages. And to deal with the swarms of mosquitoes, they didn't have bug spray.
The funny part inside, if you have any problem with the mosquito, I have a trick for you. Skunk oil.
So?
Skunk oil.
Skunk oil.
Yeah.
Okay, but how does it smell?
Bad, really bad. Yeah, really bad. Yeah, skunk oil. No mosquito, I swear.
No, I think I'll just take the mosquito bites.
Yeah.
So, you're rowing for 16 hours a day, smelling like a skunk, and fueling your body on a strict diet of pea soup and bannock.
16 hours with
It's
skunk
no
oil,
wonder
huh?
the last stop was an island just a few hundred meters away.
Yep.
That's what they call Barber's Point. So that's the last stop before I arrive here.
They probably happy to see that.
Yeah.
They come.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the place they will shave themselves and clean themselves to be like more clean and more fresh cut here.
Okay, so they take shower and everything
Decent
to be decent. Yeah. That's I love that.
So Barber's Point, yeah.
Barber's Point.
Barber's
that's right.
Point. I love that. That's funny.
Standing here today,
Okay,
all you
that's some
see are the
flavor
stone
bomb.
foundations and the tall chimney remnants of the blacksmith shop, the store, and the chief trader's house. The company was obsessed with protecting their investment. This wasn't a military fort, but it was built on pure paranoia. So they built dummy houses.
Right.
Like when we mention fort, people always think that's like military and everything, but nothing military here. Only like that's basically like just like a trading post.
That's a very I never thought about that. Like, because you said fort, so you're thinking they're defending something. I mean, they probably are defending their stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're thinking military.
Yeah. And
I'm thinking walls and like barracks and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's not happening here. But they're really scared of that. Yeah.
They were of being attacked. Yeah, of course, because they have valuable stuff here.
You see like this little piece of wood like go across right there. That's a wood wall protect because they think there will be attacks. So that's it's like a wood wall.
Like as a kind of like what's a fence, but like yeah, almost I see what you're saying.
Like I told you, they're really scared to be like attacked and everything. So in Poland, the actual grill through chimney right there, but no fire under there. Just to like make like a little trick and seems like you have a like just our house, but that's the place where they use
to actually store all their valuable stuff.
From the lake, every building looked identical. They even built fake chimneys with no fires underneath, just to trick attackers into thinking a storage warehouse was actually a normal occupied home.
Most important archaeology that we find here, one is the inside. I will show you later, but that's a piece of a medallion from the Queen Victoria. And that's
medallion. Okay.
And that's the only one in Canada, and probably in the world. That's a medallion that they found in the cave and the underground of the chief trader's house.
So how did he get the medallion of Queen Victoria?
Probably like some good thing to do.
Wow. Oh, so you mean like he probably got rewarded?
Yeah, rewarded and everything.
Okay, for some good job. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a stunning discovery and the only one of its kind in this country. Today, you can see it on display in the main building alongside thousands of other artifacts recovered from the site.
If you want to dive deeper into this story, visit us over at rudderlesstravel.com/podcasts.
After leaving the fort and before heading into the Enchanted Forest, we ran into Karl. Spread out on the table before us was Karl's life's work. There were hand drums with skin stretched tight over the circular frames, ready to play those hypnotic rhythms. Beside them, rattles crafted from massive antlers and raw hide, one wrapped in a striking orange and black pattern. You could see miniature birch bark canoes, perfect down to every stitch, and baskets woven so tightly they looked like they grew that way. It wasn't just a display. It was a physical manifestation of the no-waste philosophy. Every scrap of nature, every bone from the moose had found a new life as a tool or a piece of art. For Karl, it's about understanding. For 125 years, the art of building birch bark canoes had left these shores. When Karl brought the practice back in the year 2000, he made sure he wasn't the only one holding the history.
So the canoe was one of those teachings to earn your respect. So when we brought that back, they said, Karl, you're going to be in the history books, you're going to make history. But I said, I don't want to be alone in this history. So all the tourists that came and visit, with their names in the history book would read it. I asked them, hey, come and do some lacing. Come in. So by the time we're finished this one canoe, we're on the lake with it and, paddling around with it. And then we come back and we start working on another one.
Karl taught us that you don't actually see the forest until you know what it provides. He calls this forest chemistry, and it's a science that turns every tree into a teacher.
So we learn about the respect of the land. We take what we need, just what we need, to leave it for the future generation that's behind us. So the birch tree is one of those materials that is well used in our culture for baskets, for canoe building, for tickanoggins, baby carriers, and all this. But you learn about the land. You see it the first time. You'll see the forest. But it's a good teaching. It's good teaching because now you'll see what you what our ancestors lived off of and how they survived and follow the animals and imitate them in their dances and their movements. And because one belongs to the other, then you'll start seeing a lot better. So when we tell you, come and learn how to build a canoe, you'll see the forest for the first time. You'll walk with respect and you'll know the history about where it came from. And most of all, you'll understand the trees that the Creator brought and Mother Earth's looking after it. Everything around you comes alive. Then you see it for the first time.
That chemistry is literal. Karl explained that when you mix bear fat with spruce gum, you create a sealant that won't melt away in the sun.
He showed us how the white spruce resin stays like caramel while other trees simply won't hold. It's a science of borrowing from nature, not taking from it. The respect Karl talks about extends to the animals too. He showed us an owl, a sharp tool used to poke holes in the birch bark so that the roots can pass through. It wasn't made of steel, it was made from moose bone. I love it because this is that same no-waste philosophy I saw in Saskatchewan at Kaniasik culture camps, whether it's using the bones of a moose for a tool in Quebec or tanning an elk hide for community warmth in Saskatchewan, the message is the same. Everything the land gives is a gift that must be honored.
Everything that was here for a reason. Once you earn your respect, you'll go out hunting, the moose will come out, they'll look at you and you'll make that connection, respectful. Nice. He'll turn for you. He'll give his life.
I love that.
And you take that and you take every part of the moose from the hide, the moose, the deer.
Yeah, and I love it. Awesome.
Your shoes, your coats, your vests.
Yeah.
So you'll take everything from the bones, make your tool.
This is for the hide.
Yeah. So you'll use them in different ways, and you have the bones, natural bones from the moose, and we'll sharpen them and use them to make holes in our birch to pass our root. And the deer is close, but it's smaller.
Yeah.
But with this, you'll use it for your sewing, your clothing.
Yeah.
And then you'll take your string and you'll use the tinnets for the string. There's no waste. The respect has been given.
Completely.
And then you use it and you can make your vests.
Beautiful.
You can make your vest out of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, say who you are and what you do.
Is that your symbol?
Yeah. My name is the White Buffalo Man, and I'm my own clan.
Unclan.
Yeah. Passed down to the family. So
that's amazing.
It's telling the stories about who you are and stuff like that.
We talk a lot about the fur trade era at the fort, that skin for skin mentality. But Karl sees that through a different lens. He calls it greed, a sickness that blinds us to the future.
Greed is sickness. Sometimes when you have too much of it, you forget about everything else. Then
and it doesn't bring happiness.
Exactly. You could buy it, but I don't know. That's forced. I always say, when you start learning this, the more you look ahead, the further you're going to see your 7 generations, like we're supposed to see. But the more you look behind, you can see everybody coming behind, living for what you left behind. Right. And that's the way that the life works, right?
I love that.
That's the way with you. And I tell the kids, you'll be walking in my shoes one day. And I was in your shoes. I was a baby. I was a child. I was a student. I was an adult. And, I kept on growing. No, I said, I always told those old people, I'm there. I'm walking in their shoes and I understand those words that I say. It's who you are, as an elder.
Yeah.
But you pass on your knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's the best part about it. So knowing all what you have, everything that you can do, this world will be a much better place for everybody else.
100%.
I agree.
So
I love that so much. Every time I speak with my Indigenous friends, I get goosebumps hearing their stories. Every single time I get goosebumps listening to this. To Karl, the antidote to greed is simply community. So when it comes to the canoe, why go through all of this work? Well, Karl says it's because a birch bark canoe is alive. You see, when you're on the water, the bark vibrates against your feet. You can actually hear the lake talking back to you. I wonder if it's the same spirit we felt in the Enchanted Forest where the trees were caught mid-dance by a flute song.
Travel is about the gorgeous feeling of teetering in the unknown. Anthony Bourdain.
Leaving Karl's table, we walk just a few minutes away into a place that feels like it belongs in a different dimension. This is the Forêt Enchantée, the Enchanted Forest. In most woods, the trees reach for the sun in straight lines. Here, they twist, they spiral, and they crawl along the ground. It's eerie, it's beautiful, and it completely defies gravity. But to understand why these trees look this way, you have to understand the family that lived here. The chief trader was the only man allowed to have his family at the fort. But the journey was so brutal that most families stayed behind in England. Alone and missing his daughter, he wrote letters that traveled by canoe to Montreal and then across the ocean. After 10 years apart, his daughter finally arrived here to reunite with him. But the reunion was short-lived. The work of the fur trader never stops, and when her father had to leave for weeks to visit another outpost, this young girl found herself the only child in a fort full of working men, completely alone. To help her pass the time, her father gave her a flute.
Well, we are told that she was the worst person to ever play the flute and everything. So, but she will always practice and everything. But people would go away, go far away, because you make too much sound and everything.
The noise, yeah.
Too much noise and everything. So, accent, go far away, and we'll see later. But we have like a trees with the letter C. It looks like the letter C, and that will be a seed, and she will always play on that seed.
And that note, that key, C key,
yeah, and she will always be there and play some flute. And when people do something like often, she'll be better at it. And during a day on September, she will be the best time she will ever play. And that was like eye closed. That was the best time she ever played. And when she opened her eyes, the tree was dancing because the way she's playing some music. And when the flute left his mouth, the tree freezing the last
movement.
Last move.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I got goosebumps. Is that true or not?
Now, for the skeptics, there is a scientific explanation. They say these cedars were growing under a canopy of tall pines and had to twist and loop just to find a path to the sunlight.
Yeah, so the scientific way. Like I told you, that's a pine forest back in the days. And the pine are really tall trees and everything. So when the cedars are there, they want to find their way to grab some lights. That's why they will shape differently.
To try to get to the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
Others pointed to the weight of the snow and the fact that for decades visitors walked on the roots, putting pressure on the trees as they grew. But standing here in silence, science feels a little too boring and magicalist. I think I prefer the version where the forest was the lonely girl's only dance partner. Now, standing in the middle of that frozen dance, the Enchanted Forest, I realized that Émile doesn't just see this as a job. He sees himself as part of the fort's long-term care. I asked him which of the personal stories from the fort truly resonated with him.
So beyond the dates and names, what is one of the personal stories or details from the fort's history that truly resonates with you, and why?
Yeah, I think the one I told you, that's a blacksmith. I don't know why, but I have something with the blacksmith, but with all the job it's doing, like it's the dog, it's the vet and everything. And I want to be like, to take care. That's probably what's like most important and the reason why I like it. Because you want to take care of all your body, everything is around them.
Yeah.
So that's probably what is more likely to me to be like to see the blacksmith and everything and really enjoys all this little story and the medicine and everything and all the little job you do. Yeah.
You sort of see yourself in the blacksmith.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, taking care of everything, the animals, because basically what you were saying before is that once he knows how to do one job, then he immediately now he's doing all the other jobs. So he's the blacksmith is the one that's making the horseshoes. So now he's the default veterinarian now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So that's why probably I want to see myself in the blacksmith and everything.
There you go. I love that. That's such a great answer. So what are the most common misconceptions visitors have about the fur trade era? And how does the site's interpretation challenge those assumptions? Because everyone always looks at the fur trade as something bad.
Yeah.
As the Indigenous were taken advantage of. I mean, obviously,
for that happening, but
like you said, exactly. I think that's the most frustration part. And people always say, "Oh, you give alcohol to the First Nation people." That's a comment I have each year, basically, and that's not true because really here we had a couple of years, but in the journal they say they don't have any alcohol that they bring because they want to use them for the European people use and drink the alcohol, but they don't give it really that much to the First Nation people and everything. So
that's such an interesting that's such an interesting fact, because you're right. They always assume that the colonizers are the ones that got everybody drunk, and
exactly. And same thing with the tobacco and everything, like all this thing and everything. So that's a comment I have often. That's not really true, and that's nothing true.
Wow. Okay. So the Enchanted Forest is quite unique. What stories or reflections have visitors or staff shared about their experiences with it, and how do the legends contribute to the site's atmosphere? So you already told us the story. So how does it affect you?
Affect me because I think, like I told you, we seem like to have a real fact of the legend. Like I told you, the sea trees and everything. So the legend, like I'm really believe in it and everything, because I think we have some couple things that really seems to be real and everything. So that's probably why.
Obadjiwan Fort Témiscamingue is a place where history isn't a straight line. It's actually wavy and crooked, just like those cedar trees. Or maybe it's a circle, as Karl described it, where you're looking 7 generations into the future while looking 7 generations into the past. It's that contrast of hard work versus pain and a short life. It's the philosophy of taking only what you need versus the sickness of greed. It's science versus legend. In the end, it's all a dance. It's a flute, a lonely girl's song that is still vibrating through the bark. If you ever find yourself up north near Sudbury or North Bay, pop over to Quebec and explore the Témiscamingue region. Great people, great food, deep history, and absolutely beautiful sunsets over Lake Témiscamingue. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'll catch you in the next episode. Stay rudderless.